Hello from Patina Farm. We're in our pasture right now with our biodynamic consultant, Andrew Beedy, and we're going to talk about what's going on in the pasture. So can you tell us, what did we seed this with?
We seeded it with a Perennial Rye, which is the thinner blade plant, and then this will come back every year, so we won't need to reseed this. We'll just keep grazing it and irrigating. And then we put in a bunch of sub-clovers and perennial clovers, and then that just builds, the complete diet. So we want a mixture of the fiber and then the high protein content, and then we'll just graze this as needed, and it won't get more than about 1.5 feet, and it will just keep on growing. And we'll add the compost to it in the winter months, probably in the fall ahead of the first rains, and then the plant nutrition will also come from the manure as well. So actually actively grazing it will add a lot of soil microbial life to it as well.
Nice. So we can just leave the manure in here. We don't have to pick that up.
No, we'll just leave it, and then that's the really good high quality plant nutrition there for the grasses.
Nice. So a lot of people were asking about ticks and things like that in the tall grass. Are there biodynamic ways to deal with ticks and fleas and things like that?
The short answer is no. But
nice.
Where the biodynamic principles come into this is by maintaining that balance of the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as we keep that in balance, then hopefully that will keep pest populations down. But ticks are, that's a major issue. We can't really sugarcoat that.
Yeah, I had been reading about one of the reasons we have so many chickens is actually that they will kind of dig and eat all those insects and things like that, and help us to keep things down.
Well, that's the balance,
Right.
The livestock to the pasture ratios to deal with those issues will definitely help. Sure.
So we have about 5 acres. I think, how much do they graze, Steve? About 3, 4, something like that. So how many animals per acre do you think would be the kind of ideal situation?
I mean, a minimum 1 acre per cow. So you have large animals and small animals.
Right.
Obviously, cows.
Yeah, the cows are
1
happy.
per acre is a rule.
The cows are happy eating all day long.
Sure. I would be happy eating this if I was a cow.
So if anybody's wondering why the cows are wearing these masks, it's actually for the flies. They're actually see-through masks. They can see through the masks, but the flies can't bother their eyes. So during the day when it's hot, the cows and the donkeys who get bothered by the flies the most are wearing masks to protect them from getting pink eye and things like that. Is there anything else we want to say about the pasture? I know we've been pulling a lot of the mustard. We got a bunch of it out, but there's still, you can see, a ton. What would be the best way to kind of deal with this additional mustard over here?
Well, the best way of dealing, the only benefit of this is that it's an annual weed, so it's easy to control as long as we stop it from setting seed. So these seeds are not viable yet because they're still really green, So as long as we
kind of whack it,
weed whack it or mow it, you could leave it in place. It's not really a problem, It's obviously not a problem for their diet,
right?
But it's more just, it's native around here, Southern California.
Yes.
And it's native, from pretty much all over the country.
I guess once the grasses are more established, maybe it'll take over more, because otherwise what's been happening is we just end up with a whole meadow of mustard.
Right. You see the area that you guys mowed earlier and stopped that first generation from setting seed.
Right.
So this new generation over here where we didn't do any pulling, you can see a clear difference in.
Yes, for sure.
But
Yeah, it's nothing but hard work pulling all those.
Farming for you.
Yeah, farming. It's endless. It's endless. Okay, well, thank you so much. Again, if you have questions about our pasture, feel free to ask questions in the comment section. If I don't know the answer, I'll find out from Andrew. And thanks for joining us in our pasture. Goodbye from Patina Farm.